In this video, we're going to talk about Hyperlane Crypto Airdrop. So Hyperlane is interoperability protocol, which means that it connects the various blockchains and gives infrastructure that different applications, different blockchains can use. And in order to farm it, so because there might be an airdrop just as there was an airdrop, for example, for Celestia, or there was an airdrop recently from Wormhole, which is also in a similar venue, or for example, there should be a airdrop as well for Layer 0, which is somewhat a competition to Hyperlane. So if you know Layer 0, this is basically similar play here. Hyperlane is basically connecting different blockchains and giving you infrastructure. So in order to farm it, you need to use those applications. So I'm going to give you one thing which is really cool and added recently, and it's probably the easiest to do. They actually have it on Merkley, merkleyminter.com, minter.merkley.com. I'm going to give you the link down below in the description. They just added Hyperlane token bridge. So they had previously NFT bridges and basically could mint those basically empty NFTs and bridge those. But right now they have added a bridge for Ethereum that you can go with from Base to Scroll or Base to Arbitrum or Optimism. I suggest going with Base to Scroll or Scroll to Base and back, because basically also potentially farming both Base and Scroll, two L2s, two L2 blockchains that might do an airdrop as well. So you're having this win-win scenario here. So going both ways from Base to Scroll, from Scroll to Base from time to time is actually pretty cool, and this is super cheap as well. So you're going to, for example, bridge 0.001 ETH and pay something like 0.0005 ETH, so like half of that what you're bridging here. Generally speaking, you can basically pay something like $5 to bridge one way with a small amount, and of course you're going to pay something like 50 or 40 cents of fees, which is, of course, if you do that a lot, then that's going to be substantial. But if you do a couple of transactions per month, then that should be definitely fine. So this is definitely recommended if you want to farm Hyperlane. And another stuff that I wanted to shout out to is basically going with Hyperlane Ecosystem. So this is a Notion website. I'm going to give a link to that as well, but you can basically see who's collaborating with Hyperlane, and you can see that there are a bunch of blockchains, of course, like Base and Scroll that I've just mentioned, but there's also a couple of applications and rollups from Celestia that I've mentioned, but also Eclipse, Injective, Cadena, Karak, Mode, Nautilus as well, which is pretty unknown, and a couple of others. So the reason here for looking at that is maybe you can actually farm some of those projects as well, some of those blockchains, for example, Nautilus, that basically no one is talking about right now, and basically farm those as well as Hyperlane at the same time. So that's interesting. And another thing is you can go also with applications. So Aave, you probably know, the DeFi protocol for borrowing and lending, the biggest ones, but you also have those smaller ones that also some of them do not have a token, and you can actually try to farm for a crypto airdrop one of them and potentially qualify also for Hyperlane, because we don't know exactly how the eligibility criteria will look like. Another thing is, for example, Altlayer. So they did an airdrop recently, the Altlayer did, and probably if you do something on Altlayer, then you might get an airdrop as well. Eigenlayer is here on the list as well. I don't know how relevant that will be in the future. Of course, Eigenlayer is one right now, probably in the top 3 of protocols by TVL in general, which means that it's super huge. So probably if you are using Eigenlayer, you might get something from Hyperlane, but not much. But let's see how it goes. Generally speaking, there's a lot of different stuff here happening, and they will probably be airdropping some tokens to some of the users of those applications. So it's worth to have it on your mind here if you want to farm Hyperlane. Definitely, we don't know when Hyperlane will be happening. It might be a huge airdrop, but there's no estimated date here. So I would suggest actually farming some other airdrops, but having in mind that you are playing within the Hyperlane ecosystem. So for example, if you're trying to farm like Scroll or Base, you can you can basically bridge using this, for example, Merkley protocol to play within the realm of Hyperlane, and doing other stuff like that as well, which is super interesting. So this is it for Hyperlane farming. I'm definitely going to let you know more when there will be more information about Hyperlane, but it's definitely something you can start farming right away and just have it at the back of your head, and just come back and do some transactions at least once a month. Thank you for watching, subscribe to the channel for more crypto airdrops, and see you in the next video.